financexpert.com is proud to introduce Life Insurance Analyzer, an innovative software tool that puts you in control of policy illustrations. Life Insurance Analyzer is the key to understanding if policy illustrations are sustainable. Its unique reverse engineering process extracts underlying cost assumptions from policy illustrations and recasts cash value projections using a common calculation methodology. Life Insurance Analyzer gives you even greater control of your analysis by making side-by-side comparisons of two policies covering either single or joint lives under universal or variable life contracts. To get started, on the Welcome page, click File in the top left-hand corner, then select New to start a fresh analysis. If you are resuming a previous analysis, click Open and browse your computer for the appropriate file. If you choose to start a new analysis, you will be asked to select the type of policy, either variable or universal life, that you will analyze. If you choose to return to a previous analysis, only one policy type icon will be presented. Data entry requires only 3 forms for universal life and 4 for variable life. Navigating these forms is easy using the menu on the left-hand side of your screen. Enter your client's name at the top of the global input form, then indicate whether the analysis covers a single life or joint lives. Next, for each insured, enter their age, sex, and smoking preference. Then enter the current year and the calendar year in which the first policy year ends. In addition, the form requires you to enter a percentage to be used as the discount rate for net present value calculation, and the age of the youngest insured when you want the analysis to stop. Finally, the program uses the 2001 valuation basic tables to calculate a benchmark cost of insurance to compare amounts derived for each of the policies. At the bottom of the form, enter a percentage greater than 0 to indicate the level at which you believe the valuation basic tables compare to market rates of cost of insurance. For each policy you are comparing, the program provides a separate input assumptions form. Enter the insurance company's name at the top of this form. The purpose of this form is to identify specific costs which have been disclosed in the policy illustration assumptions. These costs generally fall into 3 categories. They include a percentage of gross premium expense, an amount per $1,000 of death benefit, and an annual fixed dollar amount. For each of these types, the form allows you to enter a discrete amount for up to 3 different time periods. For variable life policies, the form allows you to enter a different M&E rate for up to 3 different time periods as well. Next, you must enter the gross annual rate used in the policy illustration to credit earnings on cash value. Finally, for in-force policies, enter the cash value balance at the beginning of the first policy year of the illustration. A separate illustration input form is provided for each policy you are analyzing. In the rows and columns on the left side of the page, enter the amounts from the illustration for annual premiums, cash value balances, and death benefits. If these amounts are contained in a spreadsheet, you will be able to copy and paste them into the form. In the unshaded column to the right of the form, you will find a series of check boxes. For the year corresponding to any box you check, the program will replace the cost of insurance derived from reverse engineering the illustration with the benchmark cost of insurance for that year. An asset allocation input form is provided when you are analyzing variable life insurance policies. The program contains a database of annual historical returns for 10 asset classes dating back to 1926. Enter a percentage for each asset class to indicate how you plan to invest cash balances. For each policy, you will also be able to enter an annual rate for investment management fees you expect to pay on each fund type. These rates should be in addition to the M&E expenses you entered earlier. In projecting cash values for variable life insurance policies, the program allows you to simulate previous investment cycles. At the bottom of the form, enter the beginning year for 3 different market cycles you want to simulate. Life Insurance Analyzer provides a reporting capability including graphs and tables of projected cash values and costs of insurance. For each variable life insurance policy, a graph presents projected cash values under 3 different market simulations, as well as the illustrated cash values. The same information is provided in a table format. Another graph, which is available for both universal and variable life policies, presents a comparison of cost of insurance for both policies as well as the benchmark. When making judgments about life insurance costs, it's important to keep several things in mind. For instance, the costs presented on this graph do not include amounts that were entered on the input assumptions page. Consequently, the bundled cost of insurance will always appear higher in cases where the expenses unrelated to mortality have not been fully disclosed. However, when the cost of insurance is persistently lower than the benchmark, that should be a warning that the policy illustration may not be sustainable. For universal life policies, a table compares the annual cost of insurance for both policies and computes the net present value difference between the costs for each year. For universal life policies, annual cash values for the 2 policies are compared on a graph. The solid line shows the cash values calculated using the benchmark cost of insurance. When you check the boxes on the input illustration form, a dotted line will represent the projected cash value based on using the cost of insurance extracted from reverse engineering the policy illustration. The comparison of cash values for universal life policies is also shown in a table. This table computes the net present value each year of the difference between the 2 policies. For universal life policies, a graph comparing the annual amount at risk is also available. Life Insurance Analyzer's printing function allows you to customize page layouts and select specific pages to include in reports. In the customization dialog box, you can insert your company logo or edit the page footers. On the print preview screen, you can change background colors, add a watermark, convert to another file format such as PDF or HTML, and you can even send copies by email. And in the print dialog box, you can select which pages you want to include in any report. Life Insurance Analyzer is the perfect tool to help you take control of policy illustrations. For more information, check out our website at www.financexpert.com.